Hi guys, this is gsn.com and I'm here with a review of the Motorola Moto G84. It's a mid-range 5G handset with a 50 megapixel optical image stabilization camera and a bright OLED screen. Also a good looking backside, particularly in the Viva Magenta hue. Priced at $300, it has a, I would say, pretty old CPU, but makes up with some unexpected productivity features, such as the Ready For feature, which is available here. Now let's find out what the device has to offer. We've unboxed it and used it for about 2 weeks now. First of all, the design. It measures 7.6 millimeters in thickness and weighs a decent 166 grams. It's got glass at the front with, I would say, mid-sized bezels. It's got a plastic frame which is flat and helps with the grip, and a backside covered with eco leather which once again helps with the grip. Believe it or not, it even has IP certification of the IP54 variety. It can take some dust and some splashes. The colors, aside from Viva Magenta, are Marshmallow Blue and Midnight Blue. Now, once again, good grip here, but the phone is, I would say, rather tall for a easy one-hand usage. And my usual complaint for a Motorola handset is that the volume buttons are too skinny to be comfy and to be found just by pressing the frame. Okay, so the build is quite okay, the grip is fine, but except for the buttons, I don't have many complaints. Now, as far as the screen is concerned, we're dealing here with a quality panel. It's a P-OLED 6.5 inch, shows 1 billion colors, has 120 Hz refresh rate and a Full HD Plus resolution. I'm going to actually put it to the test via our usual test clip, and here we go. Okay, so this is the video. And we're dealing with a very colorful panel with a wide range of colors, excellent brightness, quite immersive, deep blacks and pure whites, and wide view angles. I have zero complaints as far as the contrast goes. Even in the brightest sunlight which we've had recently, I experienced zero problems with it. So actually was blown away by the brightness, because we actually measured it and found it to be above our expectations. When I say above our expectations, check it out. We achieved a huge 922 lux units. It cracks the top 10 of the 500 phones we've tested. It beats phones like the Redmi Note 12 Pro, like the Nothing phone too. It's only below the iPhone 15, Motorola H40 and the Huawei Nova 11 Pro, so that's quite impressive. Now we go further and we go inside the phone, where we find a CPU which is not exactly new. I've seen it before. Qualcomm Snapdragon 695 5G. It also found on the Realme 9 Pro, Realme 10 Pro, Motorola H30 Neo. At least in the version we have here, there's plenty of RAM, 12 gigs, and plenty of storage, 256 gigs. UFS 2.2 by the way, plus micro SD. The good news is that the phone doesn't suffer from lag, doesn't suffer from overheating, and it runs games in a decent manner, although the CPU is once again not exactly the newest in the world. Okay, so let's leave that aside and we go here and we find the screenshots. We did a CPU throttling test and the result is quite fine. As you can see for yourself, it doesn't lose much performance during the test, so that's pretty cool. As far as the actual other benchmarks are concerned, we have them here. We started on 229, where we're just above the Realme 10 Pro and the Motorola H30 Neo. In Antutu9 we scored below the Galaxy A53 and the Redmi Note 12 Pro. And then there's Geekbench 6 in the multi-core subtest. We are just above Redmi Note 12 5G and the Motorola Moto G53. We are below the Oppo A98 and the Moto G73. When it comes to 3D Mark Slingshot Extreme Unlimited, we surpassed the Realme 10 Pro and we're below the Galaxy A52 and the Huawei Nova 11 Pro. So I would say typical mid-range results, even though even some phones from 2 years ago tend to beat us. So a mid-range with not a lot of future ahead of it. In the CPU throttle test, we got only a 6% loss of performance, which is pretty good. When it comes to the temperature, we are here with 36.2 degrees Celsius, so there's no overheating in benchmarks. Now, as far as the battery is concerned, the Moto is usually a solid company when it comes to that. There's a 5000 mAh battery here. I don't know how, because the phone is pretty slim and light. It's supposed to offer 30 watts wired charging. There's a charger in the box, and the results are quite fine in my view. First of all, video playback, 20 hours and 52 minutes. It beats the Samsung Galaxy A54 and the OnePlus Note 2T. It's below the Honor 90 and the Nothing Phone Generation 1. A more relevant one is the PC mark with a satisfying 14 hours and 12 minutes. I would say that it's quite fine for one day of work. It's above the Poco F4 and the Galaxy A34. It's below the Honor Magic 5 Lite and the Realme 10 Pro. The charging is a bit long, if you ask me, 1 hour and 25 minutes, and after 30 minutes you're at just 36%, so yeah, we may need faster. Now let's talk about the acoustics. First of all, we have stereo speakers, one at the bottom and the earpiece at the top. There's also the inscription here with Dolby Atmos and an audio jack here for good measure, plus the Moto app where you can find your Dolby Atmos tweaks. And that's just some of them. I would say it's a pretty loud experience. I was watching a TV show and doing this test, it actually covered the TV show. Other impressions, well, I have to say that the bass is quite solid, the high notes are fine. I was actually more impressed by the high notes than the bass. The back vibrates a lot and the voice is pretty satisfying. It's a well-balanced experience, that's all that matters. I don't feel that the bottom speaker is surpassing the top one by a large margin. Now, if you go here to the measurements, we have 76.2 decibels at the top speaker with this acoustic sample and 79.1 decibel at the bottom speaker. Not exactly record breaking, but still good enough to surpass Samsung Galaxy A34 and the Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus 5G. It ranks below the Galaxy A52 and A54 plus the Nothing Phone 2. It fared much better in gaming, 100.6 decibels. It's above OnePlus Nord 2T, Vivo V21 and the Motorola H40 Neo. However, it places below the OnePlus Nord 2 and Realme 10 4G. I think it's time to discuss the camera now, and we should use a white background to highlight the cutout for the punch hole for the selfie camera. 16 megapixel shooter, f2.5 and full HD capture. At the back side, a simple dual camera with LED flash. 50 megapixel main sensor, f1.9 aperture, face detection autofocus, coupled with a, I would say, modest 8 megapixel ultra wide camera with 120 degrees, but at least it has autofocus for your macro needs. In the unboxing, I showed you all the UI elements of the camera, and now we can skip straight to the gallery of photos we have here. Okay, so in the camera area, we have quite a few photos during the daytime and during the nighttime, so let's get going. First things first. Okay, so I have to say that the greens are a bit intense for my liking. When once you switch to ultra wide, you lose details even in the center of the photo. Usually with ultra wide, you just lose details on the sides. Okay, so the green may be intense, but it's still within decent limits, so you can enjoy your pictures. Okay, so this is a selfie video. No time for that yet, we're going to speak about it later. I particularly enjoy the way the light is captured here and the shades. So this is a regular shot with the main camera. This is an ultra wide shot, making things a bit darker. However, the colors are pretty well kept in check, and there's not a huge difference in color between the main camera and the ultra wide camera. I'm also enjoying the texture of the selfies and the details. We're working with a 16 megapixel shooter and I have sufficient details and texture to post this on social media. And I love the way the bokeh / portrait is applied here. The cut of the face from the background happens in a nice manner. There are no problems with the ears or rebel hairs or things like that, so selfies are quite fine. Then we start playing with close-ups and very close close-ups like macros. Takes a bit to get one going, but in the end you should be happy with the result. Okay, so here's a bokeh of an object, pretty well done. We're in the shade here and we're in the light here, notice the difference. So yeah, the camera can easily depict the fact that you're in the shade or in the sun, and has quite a great clarity when it comes to the main camera particularly. The blue and the red hues were very well rendered. That's something I noticed here. I wouldn't say there's a tendency to make the colors darker or brighter or highlight a certain color. Maybe the vegetation may seem at times a bit too intense. Once again, the potential of the camera when it comes to bokeh is one like this. Not just the selfie camera, but the back one also does a nice job at cutting objects from their background. Flower photos, we also have that. This one is a bit too intense for its own good, but it's usually such roses which are messed up by phones. Happens quite often. Okay, and here are some attempts at very close close-ups and focus. Here, as you can see, the focus can be a bit hit and miss when you get to up close and personal. Missed focus, but finally we got it. We got a macro we wanted so bad. So if you're patient enough, you can get your feel of macro. And this time, we're in the sun. You can notice that the reds are a bit brighter this time, but still pretty well calibrated and accurate compared to the perception of my eye in real life. So yeah, I find, it may sound weird, but I found that the camera catches better colors than the recently tested Motorola Edge 40 Neo for some reason. We also have some ice cream here, so when it comes to food photos, you'll be delighted with the results, so yeah, that's fine. Autofocus here, by the way, but in the end, the result, this lava cake, was captured in a fine manner. So surprisingly, sometimes above the Motorola Edge 40 Neo for some reason. Okay, so meanwhile, during the nighttime, I was a bit underwhelmed, and you should only stick to night mode. Otherwise, the photos are unusable. So this one is modest, this one is actually solid. This is very blurry and it's ultra wide. This is clearer, ultra wide, but still. Be advised that there may be some yellow hues in your night mode photos. There is also an auto night mode, and this is a collection of selfies which don't matter till you activate the flash option, which makes the screen glitter in white, and it illuminates your face when you're taking the selfies. This is without the illumination, but definitely go with the illumination if you want proper selfies, which are actually not bad considering we don't have a dedicated flash. Okay, more shots here. The night mode definitely helps. It shows the colors in more detail, and this is an ultra wide shot which is pretty poor, so yeah, stick to the main camera, stick to the night mode, you'll be very happy with the results. This is what happened when there is no night mode applied. However, I feel that this is the auto night mode, which is fine, but the night mode itself is too aggressive in lighting up objects and highlighting their contour. It looks unrealistic. The auto night mode is a bit more realistic, if you ask me. Okay, more shots here. This is a regular shot, and this is the night mode shot. It highlights the light sources a bit better, so you can actually see what's happening around you. Of course, there are some odd reflections here and there, but it is a mid-range phone, so it does have its limitations. And now let's talk about the videos. Okay, so we have 15 videos to show you here, and the most relevant of them all are here. So this is video 1. Selfie video, stabilization off, not very relevant. This is actually better. You can actually feel that the stabilization is on this time around. It makes for a decent vlogging experience when it comes to the texture, details and lighting. So not bad. Further, we have the pretty cold colors of a Full HD filming. That's the limitation of the CPU, Full HD only. We're panning with stabilization off, and I feel that the colors are a bit murky and the details are quite low. This is panning with stabilization on. Stabilization is better served when we're actually walking around, so you can definitely feel its effect. Okay, we also have a slow motion here for good measure. Till the heat disappears, you're going to see these fountains. This is a dual capture, using both the front camera and the back camera at the same time. It's actually not a bad one. As far as Full HD is concerned, this clip is actually decently detailed, and we even tried out some zoom. Okay, so stabilization test. This is stabilization on. You can definitely feel its effect. It's compensating for my steps. I don't see any vibration or flickering, but I do see some noise because guess what? We're in the shade here, the shade of the trees. This is a focus test, alternating between Mickey's ear and the background. It's better highlighted when we're using the nose instead of the ear. The nose of the little mouse. Okay, so not the fastest in the world, but for a mid-range it should do. I would say that things are decent. I would have liked to see 4K capture, but yeah, some limitations come with the CPU. And this is the nighttime video capture. There are reflections, there's noise, there are big halos. Once again, the limitations are typical for a mid-range phone. Even if you watch these 3 videos we have here on a PC, you'll definitely be disappointed by the result. Not the best phone to film at night, if I'm being totally honest with you. However, during the day, the highlights are the selfie video and the stabilization, I'd say. And if you want proper colors, get out of the shade. Okay, so we're done with that. I think it's time to discuss connectivity. The phone provides for you with 5G. It also provides Wi-Fi dual band, Bluetooth 5.1, GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, and you can see it here. There should be NFC available here. And there's an USB-C 2.0 port at the bottom. The calls are loud and clear. We did a bunch of speed tests and let's see what came out. So you go here and you're just going to see, let's stop this actually. These are the results we achieved. When it comes to the Wi-Fi, 316 over 316 in download and upload. That's what we got on Wi-Fi. There aren't many records to be broken here. It's just okay, and that's it. As far as the software is concerned, it replicates all we said on the Motorola H40 Neo. It's Android 13. It's got the newsfeed of the leftmost area. It's got the recents here. For some reason, I'm using buttons instead of the gestures. It's got the stock quick settings area and notifications. But I think it's more important that we show you not just the, well, typical widgets, but the extras that Moto implemented here. So in the Moto app, you're going to be finding a lot of customization. When it comes to themes, fonts, colors, icon shapes, display size and text layout, fingerprint animation, sounds, and a dark mode. You're going to be finding gestures, quite a few of them, starting apps or features. There's also Moto Secure, with a secure folder, phishing detection, auto lock, network protection, as well as pin pad scramble. Basically, the pin is no longer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're scrambled. And then there are the tips, and then the display, lock screen and attentive display, basically replacing the always on display. Finally, the Dolby Atmos settings you saw, and some settings for gamers even, including Moto Game Time, a sidebar, and blocking annoying stuff like touches or notifications. Aside from that, there are other extras, but make no mistake, there's no bloatware here. So we do have family space if you want to create a profile for your little one, with limitations and timers for the kid. There's Moto Connect, so you can connect to monitors next to you. And of course, for productivity needs, there's Ready For. You can pair your device. When I say device, it can mean a tablet or PC, and you can use the phone as a webcam, do file transfer, use it as a hotspot, do screen share or mobile desktop. Basically, you can connect a keyboard, mouse, and monitor and make the experience so you'll be able to, well, replicate the desktop experience. That's pretty much it, and I think it's time to go to the verdict for the Motorola Moto G84 we have here. It's a pretty phone, it's a pretty looking phone and a comfy phone. Those are the pros, with a nice color. It has one of the brightest screens in the mid-range segment, and I have to say that there's a lot of RAM and storage for the price you're paying. It doesn't suffer from lag, it has a satisfying battery life, and Dolby Atmos and pretty okay speakers. The stabilization is fine when filming videos. It makes for a good bokeh and vlogging phone thanks to the selfie camera, takes solid close-ups, and has Ready For productivity needs. There's also the customization of the interface. The cons, we're stuck with Full HD video only. The processor is rather old, the charging is kind of slow. Some of the pictures, particularly the ultra-wide ones, don't impress during the nighttime and even during the day, detail-wise. And there are some focus problems in macros, but only if you're not patient. And videos in general tend to be a bit noisy. Okay, so I would say that's about it as far as the pros and cons are concerned. People are going to be buying this because it's comfy, it's light and slim, it's got this beautiful color and stabilization for the main camera. It can be good for a teen because it's good for selfies and vlogging, has a pretty clean software, and for some reason corporate people may love it. So a corporate girl who wants Ready For and the Viva Magenta may be the target audience here. But the battery may also matter for some people, and the bright screen. If you're going to consume media, if you're going to take selfies and do vlogging, and if you're going to enjoy this hue, this may be the phone for you, but be advised the CPU isn't exactly fresh. For now, it remains reliable. I didn't encounter any lag, but think of the future before you buy it. That's it from us. Goodbye.